as we all know, the Boston Celtics have won last year's NBA championship, and usually when a team is crowned as the champion, the conversation surrounding them is mostly positive. We talk a lot about how legacies change, right? Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP not only in the finals, but also the Eastern Conference Finals, and that has really changed the narrative around him. Jason Tatum finally won a championship in the first place. Drew Holiday won himself a second one. Kristaps Porzingis got one before Luka Doncic. I mean, these conversations are never ending when it comes to winning a championship, but there's always one big question that sticks around after every single champion is made, and that is, can they do it again? Can they go for a back-to-back? Can they three-peat? Can they beat Jordan and the Bulls and get a four-peat? I mean, we hear it almost every single year, but unfortunately, this championship has actually led the Boston Celtics into kind of a sticky situation where it might actually be hard for them to come back and win it again, whether it's this year or anytime in the future. Now, this big problem in Boston has nothing to do with the players. It's not like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are beefing, or Kristaps Porzingis doesn't like the food in the team cafeteria. It's nothing like that. It's actually about the owners, Wyc and Irving. Now, these two guys are a father-son duo in business, buying the team all the way back in 2002. They've won 2 championships since then, and really have been able to carry the historic Celtics franchise and keep them in some sort of contention talks, whether or not they win the actual championship. But this team that they have currently built has actually put them in one of the worst situations they have ever been in. I know it sounds crazy to say that after they won a championship, but when you're paying Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, all of these guys, tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, it starts to get a bit fucking expensive. Let's just go back and look at the highest paid player in 2002 when these two guys bought the team, with it funny enough being Kevin Garnett, making $25 million in that season. In today's game, the highest paid player is Stephen Curry, who is making $55 million just this year alone. And with those contract numbers going up every single year non-stop, it might make it kind of hard for these owners to actually be able to pay for so many good players and make their team a true contender just by buying them. Then again, that's kind of the entire point of having a luxury tax or aprons, is to stop these really rich guys from coming in and just buying every single player on the market. You are meant to be taxed and penalized for stuff like that, and the Boston Celtics are, because last year, even though they won the championship, they lost $80 million. Now, you might be thinking, what is $80 million to a guy that has a net worth of $1.8 billion? That was the same question I was asking myself, but Irving, the 90-year-old father in this group, decided that that was too much money and that he does not want to be spending this much money on an NBA team, and he would way rather just sell it. Try to get these $6 billion that they have the price tag on the Celtics for, and whether or not they're actually going to get a sale anytime soon, I have no clue. Okay, I might put in an offer myself. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it. But the sad part about this is that Wyc, the son in the group, doesn't want to leave this team. He thinks that it's all worth it. He thinks $80 million is fucking nothing at all. I would rather go out here and try to win as many championships as I can, because the whole point, if you do think about it in like a business aspect, is the more championships you win and the more history you build for your team, your value is just going to go up and up even more. I mean, I don't really know how a 18-year-old YouTuber can comprehend that more than maybe the 90-year-old man. But it seems like Wyc just really likes the team and enjoys having something like this in his life. I mean, when you're this damn rich, there's probably not much that could bring you happiness. Sports is something that can continue to bring in and fulfill you with happiness, because at a certain point, I mean, how much money do you fucking need? Which is the interesting part, and you're probably thinking, well, why can't Wyc just stay a part of the team and Irving just leave? Well, Irving owns like 20-something% of the team, while Wyc only owns 3%. But let's get out of the weeds here, because we're talking a lot about the Boston Celtics. I really want to go over what this means for the NBA and how this championship and this current Boston Celtics team might change a lot of things as we know it. There's always going to be 2 types of owners in the NBA. There's going to be the owners that care about profits and money, kind of like Irving, and then there's other owners that have enough money and don't really give a shit and would rather enjoy watching their team win or try to build something of historical value. And so after seeing this set example of a team that really has both, we're going to have to now see these teams and owners even out what they value more. Like, do these owners really want to spend so much money where they end the season without a championship, because that's not always guaranteed, but also not make any money, and if anything, be in the negative by tens, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars? I really do think that's going to be a conversation and topic that is going to change the NBA, because we are seeing role players' value become more and more every single year. Like, you could argue that Derek White maybe isn't worth the amount amount of money that he is being paid. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not calling him a bad player. Okay, get off my ass real quick. But when you're the Boston Celtics, do you want to pay that much money for a Derek White when you could instead try to go out and find someone who is younger and cheaper that maybe won't take up that much room? That way, you could possibly win a championship while also being able to make money, right? That's kind of the whole conversation here, because maybe there's a chance where they wouldn't have won that championship without Derek White. I can't say that for certain because we don't know, right? I have no way of telling that unless I do a 2K simulation. So yeah, I really think that this entire situation with the Boston Celtics, with them selling their team, is all kind of going to boil down to what kind of owners will we see in the league. Will we see insanely rich owners like Steve Ballmer with a bunch of billions of dollars that don't really give a shit about how they spend it? They just want to see their team win? Or will we see owners that just end up saying, shit, this league is way too expensive and I would rather sell for $6 billion? I don't really know. Maybe if I buy the Boston Celtics, I'll be able to tell you guys how I feel about it. I should also state that another big factor and the reason why these guys are selling the team is because they don't own the TD Garden. The Celtics have no ownership over that arena. So for example, if we take Steve Ballmer and his new Intuit Dome, all of the concerts, WWE performances, Monster Jam, whatever it is that he has in that arena, he is going to make money off of. So if he makes $20 million from concerts alone, that could end up breaking even if he's spending a shit ton of money on his roster. The Boston Celtics didn't have that. So they were basically just only about basketball, losing a lot of money in basketball because the NBA is not a profitable business when you're going year by year. In the long run though, it is always worth it. Wick and Irving bought the Boston Celtics for $360 million. And like I stated multiple times in this video, they are trying to sell it for $6 billion. That being said, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. I want to hear if you guys think that the team can repeat again, if you think that the owners selling the team will have any effect on the players or roster itself. Also, while you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe, as that does help out the channel a ton. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Later.